ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. One seeker has asked this question, whether there is any difference between ancient Upanishads and the present ones which are happening now in this age. See, as already told earlier, Upanishad means sitting near to the master and in the presence of the master. So, in that meeting of the disciple and master, whatever comes out from the master, that is Upanishad. Now, basically, the meaning of Upanishad is conversing or in conversation with the master. So, the point here is, when such is the case, even now masters are there and disciples are there and dialogues are going on. So many revelations by the masters are going on before the disciples and to the disciples and all that. Now, the master, after hearing this question, has posed a counter question to the seeker. Can you put the same question with regard to love? Because ancient love and modern love, can you put the same thing? Because love is the same, whether it is 1,000 years before or 1,000 years in future, love is the same. Similarly, Upanishad is also the same. At that time, those meetings were held, and even now also those conversations and those meetings are going on. So there is no difference as such between ancient and the modern Upanishads. Because time is irrelevant. As in the case of love, time is irrelevant, and space is also irrelevant. It may happen anywhere and any time. But remember, there is a difference as far as the receptivity of the disciple is concerned. See, what is Upanishad? Upanishad means the master is overflowing. He cannot contain it anymore. that bliss, that joy, that realizations of higher dimensions, of unknown things, which the disciple has not even heard or seen in the visions. So, such revelations, when the master is pouring out of ecstasy, that receptivity, when the disciple is totally available and receptive to that outpouring, then only he can feel that kind of a oneness with the master during those times. See, people may ask, why so much importance is given to the Upanishads, or to be in the presence of the master and to be in association with a live master. Here, when you are in tune with the master, especially in his presence, something unknown revelations comes out from the master, and so that dialogue or that outpouring, it is just like a bullet from a gun. It directly, that outpouring directly enters into the heart of the disciple, dispelling all his ignorance, and it becomes, his heart becomes full of light of wisdom. So, that is why Upanishad is very, very crucial in one's life, that is, to be with a live master and to associate and live in his presence is very, very crucial, and such people who are enjoying such presence, that such holy presence, are really blessed. See, some people ask, there is another method also, I mean the path to divinity, that is contemplation on the divine. So, whether this is the right path, or this Upanishad, I mean being in association with a live master, is it important, or does it help? Which way help a seeker to realize the ultimate reality? Here there are different people, so there are different paths to realize or to reach to the ultimate reality. See, even this method of contemplation on the divine, this is a very long and hard way. So, in this path also, one reaches to the peak. Similarly, even in Upanishad, in the way of Upanishad also, that is, in the presence of a master, in association with a master, live master, also you can reach the peak of consciousness. Here, the path of contemplation is an individual experience. It is subjective. Something happens on the path which the disciple has chosen in that way, and that cannot be explained. Definitely, he will also reach to the peak, but it takes a long time. Whereas that path, that individual path, that method of contemplation is not a relationship. It is not a relationship. It is a relationship only with the divine, with the invisible divine. But whereas in the path of Upanishad, it is a relationship between a master and a disciple, because it is very near to reality. The relationship between a master and disciple is a kind of a love affair. So, when the master is alone and overflowing with ecstasy, and if nobody is available at the receiving end, then no Upanishad happens. But when the disciple is totally available and ready, and in the absence of a master, no Upanishad is possible and happens. So, it happens only when the master is overflowing with that ecstasy and disciple is totally available and receptive, then only the Upanishad happens. So, people in general are afraid of unknown things, mysterious things. So, they are afraid to be in close association with a master they move to a certain extent, they enjoy, and they will be receptive, but the total available, making them available to the master in totality is very rare. At some point or other, they draw themselves back, because people, they don't want they tread the path in a intense way, because they choose the long and hard way paths so that they can utilize that as an excuse to keep a kind of distance because of the fear of unknown. It generally happens. So, when the disciple is ready with all receptivity, with all intensity, then the realization which he has been aspiring can happen in a moment. See, everybody has tasted some moments of love in his life. That is why we can relate the experience of love in the relationship with a master. A disciple can relate how he has tasted that kind of love from the master. We can relate that, because he can easily connect himself when we say it is a love affair between a master and a disciple. So, in this regard, there is a kind of incident happened in Sri Lanka, where a mystic who was 90 years old, he was dying. He has got a number of thousands of followers. So he has told his followers that he will be leaving the body the next day. And he has been teaching for 60 years. So he has addressed the followers like this. You see, I have been teaching the way I have attained the ultimate reality. Now, in these dying moments, one flash in sight came to me. That is, there is a very short way to realize the ultimate reality. Right now, if you are ready, you can raise your hands, those who want to accompany me. So nobody has raised his hands. At last, one hand has raised, and the mystic, that master mystic, he said, I am very happy. It gives great consolation to me. At least one hand has raised, and requested the man who has raised his hand to stand up. But he refused to stand up and told the mystic that he has been hearing the teachings of the master for the past 60 years, which is a long way. So, if you can tell me, now that you said there is a shortcut, if you can tell me that, I will be able to utilize that path to realize the ultimate reality, but I am not ready now. At a future date, when it is convenient, I will do that, and I want to know what is that shortcut from you. Then the master, the mystic master, told him, it is right now. If you can accompany me right now, I can show you, I can explain to you. Otherwise, it is not possible. Then he left the body. See, the point here is, as already told earlier, people want a hard and long way to realize the ultimate reality. So, the point here is the presence of a live master, and those who have got that opportunity to associate themselves with a live master are very fortunate, and they should not miss that divine opportunity to realize the ultimate reality. So, the presence of a live master and association with that master with total faith reveals the mysterious existence and the blissful unknown dimensions of that merciful Lord. Thank you.